This is the Sacred Business Podcast, a show for spiritual women identifying entrepreneurs and leaders. I am Sora Suriano. On this show, you'll meet inspiring guests, get some business tips, experience sacred practices, and listen to my personal lessons as a business owner. As a transformational business coach, powerful medicine woman, inspirational speaker, fire igniter, heart whisperer, and world traveler, I've helped hundreds of women around the world heal their stories and transform their sacred businesses. It's time for us to claim our rightful and equitable place in entrepreneurship through scaling our business efforts. You are worthy, Divine Sister. This is episode 13. Today, I'm so excited to bring back a Stay Sacred guest interview with my dear sister and friend, Julie. We believe staying sacred while being an entrepreneur and priestess is incredibly important. Julie Parker is a modern-day priestess with a focus on her Celtic, Balkan, Iberian, and Greek lineage. She is committed to contributing to a world where qualities of intuition, presence, nurturing, spiritual exploration, social justice, and service are honored. Julie is currently undertaking intensive training to become a priestess of the Magdalene. Julie is also the founder of the Beautiful You Coaching Academy, where she passionately trains and supports heart-centered people to become life coaches. The editor-in-chief of Inspired Coach magazine, a published author, podcast host, and in-demand speaker, Julie has inspired thousands of people on stages all over the world and is the recipient of numerous leadership and women's business awards. Julie lives in Melbourne with her husband, stepdaughter, and two much-loved adopted cats.
It's so wonderful to have you here with us today.
Oh, I'm really excited to talk to you. This is such a beautiful topic and really, I think, a life-changing topic, actually, with anybody that has the passion to implement it. So I can't wait.
Well, I love it because part of your work that you do so beautifully in the world is supporting other people create a life where they can serve. And
yes.
I just enjoy really watching you navigate that with so much beauty and sacredness. And so firstly, what does sacred mean to you?
So many things. You know, it's really hard, I think, to encapsulate it for me in one word because I feel as though what sacred or sacredness means to me can shift and change as I shift and change. You know, not just through the seasons of my life, but even throughout a moon cycle of the month. And sacredness to me one day may mean a lot of stillness and presence and quiet. And then another day, sacredness may mean divine connection with other beautiful souls and human beings. I think, though, if I was to attempt to try and encapsulate it all in one word, sacredness to me is love. It is about the expression of love, the embodiment of love, the feeling of love, and how that plays out in my everyday life.
And how does love play out in your business? Because I do find the way in which you show up in your business, through your business, others feel that. Your clients really feel the love that you share and exude. So how does that work in your day-to-day life with your business?
Well, I know that this might be something that for some people they wouldn't necessarily like if they were a business owner. And there might even be others that think, oh, but when do you switch off, or how do you, sort of separate yourself? But to me, I feel that even though I am not my business in the Beautiful You Coaching Academy, it is very much an extension of who I am. And therefore, if who I am is love, then how can that not be a significant and ongoing part of how I show up in my business, and also how we try to inspire our coaches to show up in theirs as well. And of course, it's important to understand that love has so many different nuances and layers and contexts. It's not all about romantic love. It's about self-love. It's about the love of friendship. It's about the love of service and so many different things. And so for me, if I was to shut off my love tap and just kind of say, well, that's business and this is personal, and this, it just wouldn't work for me, Sora. Like, I'd feel like you'd cut me in half. Mm-hmm. And believe me when I tell you, when I first started my coaching business many years ago, like it's 17 years this year, and the academy, we're in our 5th year now, there were a lot of people that said, Jules, you need to just be careful about that lovey stuff. Just be, you need to think about dialing that down a bit. You've got to be careful it doesn't make you appear weak or, God forbid, girly or, anything like that, just too soft. And it's like, but that's who I am. And so to me, it's just a natural extension of those things. And of course, for everybody that trains with us to become a coach or comes in contact with our business, they're going to experience that at varying degrees. For some people, they're a wide open vessel, Sora, and they're like, I will take that love and I will let it inspire me and I will run with it. For other people, they're not necessarily quite at that stage, which is totally okay. Everyone has to go on their own journey of doing something huge in their life, like becoming a life coach and starting a business in their own way. And it's not about telling or teaching people, well, you need to do it like I do it. No. You need to do it like you do it. You need to find your own self-loving, confident, magnificent way to show up in the world as this thing that you want to do, and then have it really fit and feel great for you as it does for me.
Beautiful. And there's a sense around, you've created this beautiful home, this like business, but it's really a place of welcoming people in to your community. And I know that you've had this business of being even just a coach in the way in which you serve for a number of years. And I wonder, your business is so sacred, but more importantly, your vision is so sacred. You have this vision that was greater than yourself. And then you actually took the steps necessary to co-create that. And I wonder if you can share a little bit about how you stepped into that. How did you feel into the sacredness of your vision? And then how did you actually move forward to co-create it?
Well, I was really fortunate before I started my own business to work for a very beautiful and at that time small charity that supported people with eating disorders. It's now a very big charity, which is really amazing. They have grown. And I worked for a woman in that organisation who was absolutely passionate about vision. And I really feel that she inspired me enormously. And her belief was that most businesses, charities and organisations didn't have a vision that was big enough. And she helped me to understand, like, the vision of that little charity was that all people on earth would live in health and wellness. In other words, if we look at that realistically, Sora, it was a vision that was never going to be achieved.
Right. Yes.
It was actually so big and so grand that it was constantly meant to inspire you to keep finding ways to move towards it in the very best way that you possibly could. It was a light that was so far in the distance that it was beyond you. And so it was never about her personally. And so she was constantly looking at ways to bring up leaders, to inspire other people around her with that vision. And so when it came to setting the vision for the Academy, which is that, we want all people throughout the world to live self-loving and self-actualized lives. In other words, to essentially achieve their dreams, for every single person to live out their purpose. I was so inspired by her and wanted to create something that was beyond me, that I would need a team of people around me to help me to achieve, and that it would be something that would exist well beyond me. And I think that, in all honesty, is how we make it happen every day. It's because that vision is actually so inspiring. And I encourage anyone that's listening that if you have a business, whether you see 5 clients a year, or you have a beautiful, bricks and mortar business, or whatever it is that you may do, or even in your own life, you can have a vision for your own life, is to create something that truly, truly inspires you to make a difference in your own life and in the circle of people around you and in the wider world. And then, believe me when I tell you, the steps that you need to take to make that happen, it'll come to you, because any inspired person is somebody that's in action.
I love that.
They just work hand in hand. Yeah.
I love that every inspired person is in action. It's true. And this idea of a vision, sometimes we hear these thoughts around, you're not supposed to think big. But no, you are. Mm-hmm. We invite you to think bigger and greater outside of yourself, even more than what you can create for you. And in that way, it is really freeing to know you will never reach that point. You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. And instead, you get to move through this journey and acknowledge all those steps you've taken to create experiences, awareness, opportunities that are greater than you even thought were possible based on this larger vision. And that I really love also to include that it's not just for you and the work that you do and how you serve the world, but it could be around your family or other aspects of your life.
That's right. And I think we always have to keep in mind too, Sora, that yes, it's so important to dream big and to have these visions, because even though it may be something that we never achieve, but we're inspired by and we work towards, miracles happen every day.
Yes.
And there are changes and advances that happen in so many different fields, the fields of spirituality, science, medicine, personal development, all the time. A dear friend of mine had a really serious accident about 6 months ago, and what she did to her leg and her foot, if that had been in her mother's time or her grandmother's time, she would have spent the rest of her life in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But because of the medical advancements through now being able to have things like plates and screws and all sorts of things in your feet and your leg and your body and things like that, she's back on her feet. She's not fully stable and she's got a long way to go, but she can walk, and that's a miracle, because only a couple of generations ago that wouldn't have been possible. And so visions get closer all the time, but only if we hold them and we work towards them. If we just think, well, that's too big, and we never do anything towards it, then nothing changes.
I find their potency in holding visions from sister to sister. And I wonder, as we feel into that space around sisterhood, what does sisterhood mean to you, and has it impacted your life in any way?
Oh, I love women so much. They are such a huge part of my life. Sisterhood is just... I was about to say it's everything, and of course it's not everything, but that's where the feeling comes from, right. That it is just so significant in my life. And, like us all, I've had female friendships and difficulties. I have a sister and we have a love, I tolerate you today relationship. That sort of thing. But sisterhood, I think, particularly for me in the entrepreneurial realm and the business realm, has just become incredibly important to me and a huge part of my success. So many women standing beside me, fluffing up my wings and helping me fly, and me being graciously and honourably in service to other women and doing that for them as well. We just have so much power when we come together, Sora, and I know that you know this from all of your collective and circle work. And the more that I've immersed myself in the world of the divine feminine over the past years of my life, the more that I have wanted to do and be things with other people. And that doesn't mean that I'm not reliant upon myself and I don't like my alone time. I do. But just that the power of that sisterhood is just extraordinary. And what I'm always loving as well is that you can find new sisters and have new sisters come into your life at any time. Like it's not, you and I have only met each other in the last few months, and it feels like our relationship is just beginning. And that's so exciting. And so, the sisters, so important. So important.
And I love that fact that, yes, we've only known each other for a couple months and we're just starting. Like, we're just starting together. And I feel like I've known you forever.
I know.
Coming home bit to it that feels so good and juicy. And I love that about sisterhood, when you find those right women that you call in to be part of your soul family, what that looks like and feels like. I know, Julie, that you've been really working and deepening into earth medicine and really working with the land and the divine feminine. And part of that really mainly has to do with circle work. And so I wonder what you are finding when it comes to what is circle? What's circle medicine? What does that mean for you?
It means connection. And do you know the thing that I'm finding most of all, the word that is coming to me is truth. That it means truth. When I have had the privilege of being in circle with women, I don't feel as though I've ever been in a more raw and honest space. It is really love revealed. And that is just so powerful. And I think that I've felt that even more powerfully when I've been in circle with women on the land.
Yes.
It's, when sitting right on Mother Earth, Pachamama, right there, feeling her come up through our bodies and hearing her whisper in the trees around us and the birds and things. It's like, it's potent. It's really, really potent and powerful, and it's really life-changing, to be a part of witnessing that with other women and to just be drawn into that myself. I also find circle, I don't mind admitting it, very emotional.
Yeah.
I often find myself moved to tears in circle, either from listening or expressing myself. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And it's obviously just meant to be an expression that's coming through me at that time. It's beautiful, very powerful.
And it's really lovely to watch women navigate circle experiences and this idea of emotions, and that crying is no different than laughing in many ways. There's no right or wrong to it. And there's such beauty in watching tears as well as laughter, as well as anger or frustration or yelling, or all of those emotions to come out. And in circle, you get to kind of just experience that all. And that we can look and be so many different things and still sit in circle. Like, it doesn't mean that we have to live off the land in one way in order for us to connect with Pachamama, that we can be who we are and still connect with her in the way that feels true to us.
Thank you for saying that, because, I'm in my home office right now. When we're running events for the academy, it's full face of lipstick and dresses and, all of those sorts of things. And I think it's so important that lots of women who are drawn to circle and doing more earth medicine work and work with nature and Mother Nature understand that you do not have to, as we say here in Australia, go bush. Like, you don't have to pack up your whole life and live in a log cabin somewhere to actually feel the potency and power of this and immerse yourself in it. You do not have to do that. There are so many other ways that you can gently and even just briefly have experiences that are small and manageable for you. Because let's face it, most of us these days are living in cities, not all. And we've just got to do our best and take what we can and just immerse ourselves in her whenever we can, however we can, and that it all matters and that it all works. It all helps.
And that she's accessible. And so even if you live in the city, you could still walk in the park. You could still turn around and see a tree or give your offerings, that you don't have to shift your life completely. And at the same time, you can find these accessible divine moments to connect with the earth in a very different way. And part of that is just being present and mindful of what you're doing. And I know that when I'm from New York, born and raised in the city, and so I know what it looks like, it feels like to have blinders on and just keep going. When I started to open up to the present moment and really just deepening my roots into Mother Earth, I could feel myself slowing down, and just even that bit was so transformational.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So with that being said, what would be your sacred practice that you invite our sisters to participate in today?
Well, I gave lots of thought to this, and I thought to myself, what is really resonating with me at the moment? Because different things resonate at different times. And we are in summer here in Australia, and I know that it's winter where you are. And I also wanted to just try and choose something that was going to be really accessible, for everyone. And so I'm going to talk about smell and the sense of smell as far as sacredness is concerned. And one of the things that I'm doing in my sacred practice every day is really igniting my sense of smell and having that help me either practice gratitude for that moment, to really think about a beautiful word or intention for my day. And so often this is done more at the start of my day, but sometimes I do it at the end. And I know that most people will have something accessible for this, whether it be an essential oil, whether it be a plant or a flower, or something that is in your garden, or maybe nearby, as you were saying, in a park. But what I do is that I have these beautiful oils. My friend makes them, and they have different names on them. So this one is called Divine, and this one is Goddess.
Oh, they're gorgeous. I could feel them.
Exactly. And so I choose how I'm wanting to feel that day. So this one's Inspiration, Radiance. That one's a favorite. And I have these in different, I think sometimes we can get caught up in thinking that a sacred practice has to be that you are, deeply in meditation for, half an hour, even 20 minutes, every day. And that's wonderful. But sometimes it doesn't necessarily, it's the practicalities of that don't work for us. And so I have these and other scents as well, just scattered in different places around the house. I have them on my altar behind me. Also have them in the shower. I have them in the drawer beside my bed. And all I do, Sora, is just literally drop a few oils on my hand and just gently rub them together and inhale and think about the intention or the feeling that I'm really wanting to feel for that day. Or sometimes I also do it as well if I'm feeling not that great, like a bit funky, like something's happened. It's like I need to cut energetically. I need to reframe here. And thinking about that beautifully in my mind is one part of it. But then anchoring into it with a beautiful intention and also a smell really just ramps that up. And so that's just part of my sacred practice every day. And yes, I do it when I'm sitting here and, meditating. But honestly, one of my favourite places to do it's in the shower.
Yes.
It's just in the shower, and it takes just a few seconds. But there I have. I've got 2 bottles in there, and I swap them around all the time. And it's like, okay, I feel like I need some radiance today. Or if I've got a big day with lots of birthing happening, I might choose creativity, and just rub it in, breathe it in, just rub the rest of it on my neck, and it's just divine. And you step out of the shower and you're just like, I feel anointed, I feel powerful, I feel sacred. And it's a pretty nice way to start your day.
That's an amazing way to start your day, because I love it because it is magical and sacred. It is also practical. It's also a daily practice that you can do that doesn't take a lot of time for. So for sisters who have possibly the story, or it's true at that moment, which is, I don't have enough time in the day right now and I really need to get started. This is a very simple way of doing it. And then it also provides you with that one little moment to set your intention that helps you throughout the day. I love that, to do that in the shower. And then, of course, throughout the day, you can have your essential oils elsewhere, or different types of smells, including when you're cooking, or all of those things. But I love it.
Yeah, and, I think most people would probably use their favourite sort of essential oil or aromatherapy oil. Yes. But you can also do this with rose water. That you spray, just floral essences, floral scented water, just chakra oils, chakra sprays. I have some of those as well. It just depends upon how you're feeling and what feels right for you in that moment. And if you don't have anything, just start small. Just buy like 1 bottle of oil or 1 spray, and that you love the scent of. And draws you towards it. I must admit, I love these ones because they feel like they've got like a huge already, with the blend and the intention that goes into them, they've got a lovely story behind it. But I also use other essential oils and things like that. It just depends upon how I'm feeling.
Yeah. And it could be that you have a beautiful rose garden, and so every day you're clipping some roses and you get to smell that.
Yes.
There's a lot of different possibilities.
Just from my garden.
There you go.
Sitting right here on my desk. Well, it's interesting that you raised that, because I almost spoke about that, and then I thought to it, because I love my roses and my, and I thought, but not everybody has the luxury like I do of having a little garden out the front of their place. And so, but that is also another really beautiful sacred practice. And one of the things that I've made a commitment to myself with this year is to always have fresh flowers on my altar, always. And so if they're not coming from my garden, there they are. If they're not coming from my garden, then I'm going to buy them. And so while we're in full bloom and in the season here at the moment, I'm very lucky I can step outside and pick whatever I want. But, there'll be a good 4 or 5 months in the middle of the year that's not possible. And so I shall support the local florists.
Absolutely. And I really, truly love this emphasis that you have around beauty and the divine. There is this sense of beauty, not just exorbitant beauty for the sake of it, but you really do know what colors you love. You know what brings you joy. You know, like what items that are sacred to you to help support yourself in the work that you do as this human being in this life. And so I really love that aspect of you and your practice that you shared today. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So sisters in the Facebook group, please come on in and let us know how the practice goes today. Your practice today is to pick up some sort of scent and state an intention as you smell and adorn yourself with that scent. Possibly it's in the shower. Possibly it's you in your garden. We'd love to see a picture or some feedback around how you have experienced this. And please make sure you tag Julie and myself so we can just celebrate and witness you and your divinity. Thank you so much, Julie.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, Sora. I've loved chatting with you.
You as well. And ladies, stay sacred and we shall speak soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Sacred Business Podcast with me, Sora Suriano. If you love the show and desire to know more, check out sorasuriano.com. I would also so appreciate it if you would leave a love note, aka a review on iTunes. Now, remember, you have the power to create anything. You are able to bring forth beauty, abundance, and grace in your business and life every day while living a life that is wild, free, and calm. You are worthy, Divine Sister.